Ryan and Dakereon look out there?
I'm really pleased with all three of my guys, but obviously those guys are the ones sort of competing for a job. But both of them played really hard, and they're protecting the football and doing everything we ask.
Is it still a case of maybe Dakereon's better, maybe making plays with his feet, Ryan's better, maybe throwing the ball, or are they both pretty equal across the board?
Yeah, we look at the whole body of work, because we run our offense. Now, obviously, if one guy has a little bit better of one thing,
right,
we would, if he were the guy, we would move to that, and vice versa. But like I said, we're running our offense, and they've got to master it.
You've had a spring with Ryan. Have you seen him? How have you seen him develop?
I think he's come along great, for a guy that just stepped on campus, less than a year ago, and, in their battling, I'm proud of him.
What's the biggest challenge a young quarterback faces in trying to grasp this offense?
I think it's just anytime you go to college, you have to worry about, instead of probably in high school, you have a couple different things to think about. In college, we're going to have protections, and all of our runs have something outside of actually just handing it off, all the different reads. So it's just a lot of different things that he's got to grasp. But they all do. I mean, they're all having to do the same thing. And a lot of the stuff that we do now are not things that they did, 2 years ago. So we're all still learning.
Going into the scrimmage, what are the kind of things you want to look for, really, from all three guys?
Number one is our whole number one point for our whole team is protect the ball. Mm-hmm. So if we protect the ball, we feel like we've got playmakers enough to score points on offense, and we're good enough on defense to win games if we protect the football.
Will mentioned that was a little bit of a problem in the early days at camp about holding on to the ball too long. Have you seen that as well?
Well, again, anytime you first get started, you're thinking about the protection, you're thinking about the routes and all that, and you get caught up. But we definitely talk to them a lot about having a clock in your head of when to get rid of the ball.
Is there any thought to trying to get Dakereon on the field in some capacity, a special package, or maybe even a different position or something, just to get?
In my mind, he's a quarterback.
What kind of steps have you seen Jake take from the summer, honing his game, working on that stuff?
Jake is as hard a worker as I've ever been around, and his thing is he went through, and we all did, but had a plan what he needed to work on, and that's what he's been studying film, out there on his own, working on it, and all the different things that hopefully will get him to that next level.
Some folks commented on I think his throwing motion looked cleaner a little bit. Have you kind of seen that? Or?
I mean, the thing to me, by the time you get to this level, you're not going to change your throwing motion. He's been throwing since he's probably 4 years old. We're not going to change much. Now, if he releases the ball a little bit higher, that's great. I'm a big component of when the ball goes where it's supposed to go, that's a good thing. If it doesn't, we got to figure something out.
How will his more of a sense of urgency from him, kind of knowing that maybe this is his last year eligibility?
I don't see it that way because he's always had a sense of urgency. He's that type of guy that everything he does is going to be full speed ahead.
How will Jake's increased physical strength help him, if at all, or is that just a hold up in the puck?
No, I think any athlete, if you're bigger, stronger, and faster, you're going to play better.
How does it translate technically to the quarterback position? Have you noticed something?
Just the fact that you get to the end of the game and you're maybe a little bit tired, that ball's still going to zip out good. Just that simple of a thing. But also obviously breaking tackles, that is going to happen in games. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often for our quarterback, but it's going to help him.
You talked about a moment ago just reads and maybe guys holding onto the ball too long. With Jake Bentley just being second year in this offense really and working with you, have you seen his confidence grow just in the command of the systems, and do you see him playing really fast for a guy who's supposed to be a senior and the leader of this team?
Yeah, he definitely knows it inside now. And again, he studies as hard as anybody. And I mean, from the day I got here, he was all in and wanted to know exactly what to do. And I mean, he's in asking me questions. I got to tell him, hey, you got to go home. You've been here enough.
Dan, from the time the quarterback, I was going to say breaks the huddle, but heck, nobody huddles anymore. The time he sort of gathers himself and looks up for a play, how many decisions does he make until the end of that play? Can you take me through the kind of what's...
Well, it obviously depends on the play, but if we have, say we have a run play called, which back in the old days, like you said, you'd break the huddle, get the snap, and hand it off to that guy. That was your job. Anybody could do that. Now it's, okay, we got to see the front to see if we need to change the run. We're going to look at the secondary because we might throw it if they got too many guys in the box over here. If they've covered over here, but they're weak over here, we could throw it there. Now we decide, okay, they are covered down, so now we're going to hand it off, but we got to read the end say. So there's, I mean, again, it depends on the play, but there's a lot of different decisions, and we have a progression. Again, back in the old days, it was a progression only for passes. You're going to read it this way. Now it's a run progression. You look at this, you look at that, you look at that, and then we hand it off.
How many of the run play? What percentage of the run plays y'all call are definitely a run? If we're running this ball,
Very
no matter
few.
what.
Very few.
5%.
I don't know what the percent is, but it's not very many. It'd be close to that.
Okay.